Good morning, and welcome to the third episode of Reset with Ayurveda. Today is Tammy's story. I love to bring students and people who have healed with Ayurveda in these episodes to inspire you and to share stories which would inspire the whole society. Sometimes I share people because they have a great journey, and sometimes I share people because they've done a lot in their life. And Tammy is one of them who has both. She is a naturopath, a cryotherapy practitioner, entrepreneur, CEO of the Yuko Clinic, and a mother and someone who has dedicated her life to helping people heal. But what inspired me the most was not just her business, it was her courage. Tammy recently joined the Ayurvedic consultancy program, thinking that she would be learning only about Ayurveda, which she taught as foods or advices, but she ended up meeting parts of herself she hasn't visited in years. So I don't want to give away more because today is not about only Ayurveda. It's about women empowerment. It's about women identity. It's about what happens when a woman decides that the pain which she has got needs to stop and transform it into power. Power, that's a word. Let's welcome Tammy Tucker on screen.
Hi, Dr. Shivani. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's so nice to have you. You're in your clinic, right?
Yes, I start early, 10 o'clock, but we have to start early today.
Okay, awesome. So, Tammy, I already spoke a lot about you, and you know, you are really special because of the journey you have done. So, I would like you to tell me a little bit about yourself and who you were before you had an intense episode in UK and what actually happened there.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me opportunity, first of all, here and opportunity to learn Ayurveda actually from the bottom of the knowledge and sharing your passion with me. Um, Before today, Tammy was in India, and obviously years ago, that seems like a long time ago, but 20 years ago, when I was very naive, very friendly, very, laughing girl and enjoying the life and do what I wanted to do because my parents always encouraged us to learn as much as you can and sustain your knowledge for longer term for future. So it was really peaceful, friendly, happy life. But then I got married to in UK and life totally changed, which we never thought. I never thought, my family never thought that that's coming. But that's really traumatized me. I've gone through domestic violence for 4.5 years and managed to get away from it at the end with the help of the other authorities in the UK. But then created my life, and today, obviously, I am CEO, entrepreneur, running well-being health and well-being center, and my passion is helping and healing people.
Right, right. So that was a lot you went through, right? And one thing what really stayed with me is like the fact that you were always a fire girl, like you told me that you were always a go-getter.
Yeah,
Uh, and here's the
definitely.
question that you got married in UK, but then you got into this relationship which was verbally and also it has physical abuse, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, somewhere your fire was really altered, or something happened. So, what do you think? What happened? Why did you stop being yourself? Is this conditioning?
I think it was like you said. I'm always been a go-getter and always been one of the stubborn person as a child as well. But to achieve something in the life, not the bad way stubborn, but yes, stubborn as what I want to do. I want to do. But when I got married, it was obviously a hope to have a happy marriage. Never ever thought about what's happening. It took me a few months to realize what was actually happening in the house. And my fire kind of stayed with me, but then I wasn't allowed to bring it out. I wasn't allowed because I was so much controlled. I couldn't even make my own decisions to eat, to sleep, or to drink something or something. So yeah, I think that's my fire actually helped me that time to learn how to cope with it instead of bringing out as a bad way. So I realized something is not right in the family, and I realized I was losing myself, you
Hmm.
know, because I was losing my own identity. Tammy was nothing, nothing at all, you know.
Right.
So that's where it's really changed my thinking and my scenario of my life. As I stopped laughing, I stopped talking. I wasn't allowed to talk to my own parents even. Forget about anybody around, family, friends, or somebody.
Right. So I think that's a very important point when also in life we are starting to feel stressed
Yeah,
and in a difficult situation, we lose our smiles.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
We
But
don't
then
feel
when it
relaxed.
carries on for longer term, it becomes a habit. You
Right.
know, it was like I was forcing myself to smile.
Right.
Yeah,
So maybe here is the thing about like staying there seemed the only option, right? Sometimes for children, sometimes for the family commitment, sometimes the way we are trained in India about staying in our marriages. So many of us are raised with beautiful Indian values.
yeah.
So, how much did your upbringing influence this situation?
So I come from a family where love is the main first thing. You know, we had love, we had, you know, laughs, we had compassionate in the family. So but where I got married, they just wouldn't even sit together. There was no talks, there was no laugh. So it was totally different atmosphere for me. And obviously upbringing and discipline by the parents was marriage last long, marriage lasts forever, because that's what we seen. There was
Yes.
no separations, there was no divorce in our family at all. There was no arguments because mom and dad, or you know, uncle aunties, or cousins and stuff, we never seen arguments in our family. So that was my main fear, because I was told, or I was conditioned to stay in the marriage, happy marriage. But then my marriage wasn't happy. So I was kind of confused what to do, what not to do. So it took me longer to make that decision. But fear was there. First was fear, then second was responsibility, because I wanted to do something right for my son, who was like 2 year old when I left from that family. So that 2.5 years, it been like a responsibility pressure, as I wanted to give best to him. But then I started realizing I'm actually making him suffer as well, as I was suffering anyway.
Right. So
So
maybe that was the switch off when you decided to say, that's it.
that's it. Yeah, that was the main thing when I started realizing it's affected my son. It's affected me mentally massively anyway. But when I see in the patterns in my son, and that's when I decided that's it. Enough is enough.
Right, right. Such a beautiful understanding about it. You know, and did you try to put a facade on your face that everything is okay and it's because I find lots of people who do that initially
Yeah.
just to protect the family honor and marriage and everything.
Definitely, it was like that. So we, as I said, I don't have a family here. I was married to UK, and as by myself, there is no friends, no family. So I came into another family home to their friends and family. So whenever we used to meet up, I had to put that mask on. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my family what was happening whenever I used to talk to them on the phone. But there was like that. Oh, there was a hope things will get better. You know,
Right,
there was a hope it will get better. Let's settle down. Things were actually getting worse instead of getting better.
right.
Yeah,
This is something I've found in my consulting practice for years, that putting on the strength forward and suffering inside for many Pita women. And it's just because we can take it, you know,
definitely.
we can take it, we can manage the pain. And
Man,
then slowly they stop being vulnerable completely because they
yeah.
just get so hard.
Definitely. So, like I always even say now, we are so strong. People think, oh, they're okay. They can
Yeah,
carry anything, or even you ill, you still working hard. But
yeah,
that's our quality as a Pitta woman, I think, because we carry it well. So people think they're fine, until
yes,
you really broke down and that's it. Stay
yeah,
in bed for 4 or 5 days and then that's the rest you get. Otherwise, it's very very common to see as people think, oh, she's okay, she's a strong person, she's taking it well, so carry on with the pain. Yeah, we
right.
hide it very well.
And then the fire type keep helping other people instead of getting some help for themselves.
Definitely, yeah. I think it became a habit, or it became a passion to help
Right,
others. So instead of receiver, I become giver. So
right.
I am passionate of helping others. Sometimes I have to tell myself, that's it, Tammy, back off a little bit. Like, you can't just do everything for people. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's become a habit and a passion as well, same time.
I think your constitution plays such an important role in you handling topics, because when I spoke to you first time, you were like, that was my only option. And
Yeah,
I thought, no, dear, you're in UK, there were other options. But that's where your fire thought, now I have to do it all. And you did it. Makes us
yeah.
very proud to see that.
Oh, thank
But
you.
but that's your constitution, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely. Because I took it as, oh, that's it, my life is this now. But then
yeah,
when I took that step, I was like, the first thing was how I'm going to manage, how I'm going to give the good life to my son, and how I'm going to good life to myself. So I started literally from the beginning as go, my fire came out, all that started again. I can achieve this, I can achieve that. So
right.
plan was and discipline was very important in that part of my life.
Right. So, it was only while you started studying consultancy you realized your fire quality, isn't it?
Definitely. So when I came across Ayurveda, I wasn't looking for what I actually achieved because I didn't know Ayurveda very well. Even we are from India, we have learned Ayurveda whole life. I was thinking I'm going to do Ayurveda consultancy course. I will be taught some herbs, some food, some supplements. But when I joined you, and I'm so glad I found you, I'm so glad I joined you, because then I realized what is the deeper Ayurveda is, because that made me realize what kind of body I am. And some places I really got surprised because how I behave, why I behave. I found that out why I behave. So that's really, it's like for me, it's like a fascinating thing. Oh, yes, I'm behaving like this today. My fire is high. You know what I mean? So I started realizing my own quality and my own body very well. And
Right.
that way I can use my quality better.
Right. And such traumas also disconnect you from your body. It brings
Yes,
you more to your mind. And so this awareness is going to give you health with, like, increasing the dimension of how you think about health, and not just to do for others but to do for yourself. And
do
one
for
of
you.
the very important thing I think here, what I saw was, when I was talking to you, is about society's behavior about divorce and separation.
Yes,
So in one way, we are, you're in UK, everyone is supposed to be more ahead of the civilization, the condition, and the how we are raised. But do you think that people started behaving different when you started going through divorce and this incident? Did you see people churning around and not being your friend anymore? Did you have some incidents like that?
definitely, definitely. That was part of that. My journey was like heartbreaking, but same times it was lesson learning. You know, tell you the truth, because I personally learned from it a lot. Instead of taking it to heart and getting stressed over it or getting depressed over it. So, like I mentioned, there was no divorce, there was no separation in our whole family, my family. So I came here and I got divorced. That was the biggest thing in the family. So my parents had to hear things, I had to hear things. Some family friends left, my friends stopped talking to me, which was heartbreaking, because instead of understanding the situation, they were actually going against it. So that was their perception, because they wasn't in where I was, but then making new friends in this country, as soon as they used to find out, oh, she's divorced, they used to back up. There is many happen, but I got many good ones and many loyal friends around me since a long time. But it was like it was a learning from me, for me, how people still living in this modern life, how they still think in so old version of the community.
Right.
It was like, how do I explain it to them? But there is divorce happening every day, thousands of divorce happening in UK. But when you're in that situation, I thought, I don't give a damn to anything anybody thinking. And even I had to leave talking to my own parents for 3 months, because that was getting too much, pressure and everything. And I had to just tell myself, that's it. I'm not going to not going to explain to anybody. And everything came out at the end, because obviously the person who was wrong, he was wrong. So everybody knew at the end what's happened, but it was heartbreaking. And
Right.
society should change that, because not everybody in the same boat and understand. People think from both sides, but some people do suffer.
Yes, and not everyone is a fire type to survive like you,
Yeah,
right? Like you could take the kick, but
yeah,
many women just crumble. And what I have seen is that what anybody who is in this really deep, dark situation, and when he's going down, everyone is going to kick this person. Everyone will have an opinion, and that point, if they just find belief in themselves and take
yeah.
one step of at a time, they will come out of any situation.
Definitely, definitely. That's what I say. I had either I could stress and rely on, like, if I had family here, it would be different situation. I would rely on somebody. But because I didn't have nothing, I didn't have no one, I could tell you, like, no one was here who I could talk. So I always tell myself, I don't have a choice. I
Right.
have to deal with it by myself, and I have to create my life by myself. I have to provide to my son by myself. So that was the kind of situation. But in that situation, because I took a decision and I created my life around my son, I actually learned a lot with him. Like we went to swimming lessons together, we went to nurseries together. So I kind of learned UK life with my son, you know
Right.
so
Right.
I've grown with it. So I put people on the side. I don't care. Whoever wants to say something, they can. Even today, I don't care. I'm doing what's right, and I'm doing it for a purpose, my
Right.
purpose.
So, one of the essential elements of your journey has been the role of your mother in law in causing pain, which I think she did not know that she was carrying inside, right? So,
Yeah,
many families have women like this who are maybe unhealed
yeah,
and pass pain to other women,
yeah.
right?
Definitely. That was, I never used to understand this before. So
Yeah.
when we had an Ayurveda consultation with you, and obviously studying about deeper knowledge about the bodies and why people behave like this, so I kind of see the pattern now. I go back and I actually seen the pattern. So it was right. My mother-in-law had some kind of trauma in her life, which, how much I know, she didn't have no family, she didn't have no parents, she didn't have no brother sisters around her. So she created a life how she wanted to create a life. She never used to smile. It was like a effort to make her smile. Yeah, it was like nobody's smiling in this house. My house, like where I come from, they laugh, they joke, we fight, we argue, we, like a nice play way. But here it was totally different. It was like, why she's not laughing, why she's not smiling, why she's not talking. So but that time I didn't understand. So but when I left the family, I had anger in me, because I could see, instead of stopping, she was supporting her son to do what he was doing. Or even maybe he's got some kind of trauma in his head as well, because obviously the upbringing, how mother have brought the child, or however his life was. I actually don't know that person that much, because I didn't spend that much time with him. So it was realizing after learning in Ayurveda how somebody can pass the trauma to you. So
Right.
that made me realize, if she wasn't happy, she couldn't see another woman happy. She
Right.
could not make that atmosphere in the house to be another woman happy. So it was past the trauma. But I wouldn't do that to anyone. I'm deciding, like I decided to stop that generation passing on that trauma to another person or my kids. I don't teach that to my kids. They can laugh, they can joke, they can fun, they can break things. I don't care. They can make mess. I don't care. So
That's
it's like
beautiful.
living a life, not just
Right.
surviving.
Right. And
Yeah.
with the Ayurveda consciousness coming in, you have also started to change the approach towards your parenting,
Yeah.
about seeing your children, understanding all these generational things. And I think like one of the really key points which I found in your story, which really helped you, which we were not aware back then, was to find a purpose of helping people,
Yeah.
because that brought you out of the image of staying as a survivor, in a
Yeah.
survival mode, to changing into finding your purpose with helping people. And I see your eyes light up literally when you are helping. Oh, this person have given this, he's getting better, she's getting better. So,
Definitely. It was, I think, my own journey, because obviously, like I said, I didn't have no support, I didn't have no one. But when I was living in a hostel, like a women domestic violence place, because I didn't have nowhere to go, they were very sportive, very, very understandable people there. And then they were like very sportive, they understood everything. But I remember one of the lady who like kind of had an interview with me after a few months I was there, and she goes, oh, you speak English, and and what you doing sitting here? And I'm like, I don't know what to do, because I don't know this country, I don't know what's next. So she actually guided me go and do a English and maths course. And that lady didn't know me, she just guided me, she just said you can do it. And I looked into it, and I kind of took the step forward and went to enroll myself on English and math course. But today I thank her, because God sent her in my life to give me opportunity or give me guidance. Because wherever I go to enroll a course in UK, I need to provide the English and math certificate. And
right.
this was in 2007 and 2006, actually 2006. And 4 years ago, in 2022, that same woman came to my clinic as a client with someone,
Wow.
which
Yeah.
was like it was like I know her. I kept looking at her face. She wasn't my client, she was dealing with my staff. But then I kept looking at her. I know you. I even went in the room to ask her, what does she do? Get to know, how do I know her? But she totally refused, like she doesn't know me. She goes, no, I never met you before. And then I had to dig in, because all night I couldn't sleep. When that deja vu thing happens, how do I know this lady? But it was next day, I contacted her sister-in-law, and I found out she works for domestic violence. She used to work for domestic violence, because it was 20 years ago. But when I met her here, she was a different job role. So when she said that, and I'm like, that's that lady, that manager who put me on the right path. So I connected with her on the phone, and she couldn't believe. She goes, no, you're not that person. So that made me think how a trauma, a stress I was in, and then how my passion and my growth has changed me.
Yeah.
She couldn't recognize me at all.
I mean, your energy changes too, right?
Definitely. It's a passion come from that because somebody helped me to grow and I'm helping others to grow or heal, so that's it become a passion for me. Purpose for my life is like helping others to get better. Business we running anyway because we obviously got to survive, we got to do work, but passion is to help people to get better naturally.
Right. And I remember this passion in you in the beginning of the course when you came. I kept telling this course is for yourself, but you couldn't stop talking about other people and how to help them. And then
Definitely.
1 minute in one of the psychological sessions we did, you turned around and you were like, oh, I can't do this about me. I don't remember anything about the past. You remember that? And then you shifted into this mode about yourself.
Definitely, that made me think when you asked me to write something when I was between 6 or 8 year old and 8 to 12 year old, and like that part, I couldn't think. I
Yeah,
could not
I
think. I
remember
only could think from that trauma, from that marriage till now. Like, obviously, it's been like just that kind of journey in the brain. So it was really a turnaround in my life. I started thinking about my life before, even
that.
like looking at the pictures. I took my old album out and looked at the pictures, you know what I mean. So it's just, it changed the scenario, brought that joy back into the life.
Right. No, I
Definitely.
remember this like you all the, when you were thinking about joining the course, also, you were like, I want to help people. I'm like, we will go through a journey where you will go through yourself. And you're like,
I,
I want to help people.
I
So
can't
that's
wait to do my level 2 because obviously you said level 1 is for us to understand ourselves before we understand other, which is really good way. I really um, admire this way of learning because again, if you not right and if you don't understand, then you can't help others. And with my business as my journey, it's always been me first, because anything I introduce in my business, it will have to be trialed on me. It's right
right,
or wrong. If it's
right,
right, I can talk about it. If it's wrong, it goes in the stock room. It doesn't come out at all.
right,
So
right,
I learned a lot so far, learning how to understand your own body and own doshas.
right. So basically, one thing I would like to also talk to you about is about how getting hurt in love then never wants us to have a personal space for love and not to receive love also.
Yeah. That was like I said, because when I got married, when we got get married, we have hopes, we have that, Bollywood movie style love or life. And obviously what I seen around me, it was all lovable life. But then what happened with me, it kind of took all the love away, all the trust away, because then trusting someone again is a big thing for me. it's a
Right,
it's it's a massive big step. So, but loving myself, which I learned throughout my journey and my healing process, that's changed my energies, that changed my whole um, looking at the life, how I'm looking at life differently. So loving
right,
myself, caring, I do get love from my kids, as obviously I give love to them as well. So it's a journey. How your journey goes, you learn the love and receive the love that way. I'm a more giver than a receiver. I care a lot. I even like clients at the clinic as the younger ones, the younger kids. They call you like mommy, like you. I always tell them and I care about and nurture them. And some of the kids they like with me since 18 years. You know.
right. That's amazing. So, if there is a woman who is in this similar situation like you were 20 years back, right? She doesn't have power, she has kids, she's in a situation where she's been physically or emotional abuse is nowadays very powerful. Words have a lot of power.
Definitely.
So, and she's hoping it will stop one day. So, what would you tell to her? What should be her first thought?
So, women in this situation, okay. So, when I was in this situation, I didn't know what I was going to do, what's next. And I understand every woman in this situation thinks there is a hope. There is a hope. Things will get better. Things will get better. And we carry on. We carry on giving what our best. But what women have become today, I will give as advice from my experience. You actually start thinking about yourself first. You think how your mental health is suffering. If I was a woman today, as of today, in 20 years ago, I wouldn't given more than 2 weeks or 4 weeks to this marriage, tell you the truth, because I didn't know even anything about it, where my life will go, but I had to make that decision, and I'm so glad I did. And from my experience, I give you that as well. You just need to make that decision for yourself, and it will, everything in the life will come in place with your determination, with your courage. And that courage is very important for a woman, to just focus on your happiness instead of just
Right.
keep giving and keep hoping.
Right.
And
And
it's
as you
you
told
who's
before,
going to make it happen, nobody
and,
else.
and as you told before that, see that your smile is fading, you're getting more stressed. All of these are indicators,
I look at them pictures, I don't look myself. You
right?
know, I look at them pictures, I don't look myself before that. Or like when I was in India, happy marriage, like looking forward to get married. And then you look at them pictures for 5 to 7 years in between, I don't look myself.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to have a rapid fire round so that people can know more about you. So tell me, do you prefer tea or coffee?
Herbal tea,
Okay, awesome. That's a great health strand. So are you a morning person or an evening person?
I'm an evening person.
Okay, what's your comfort food?
I don't eat chocolates and crisps to keep my fire down, so I have dry berries or dry mangoes.
Okay. One habit that changed your life, which gives you a lot of energy, vitality, happiness. One habit.
My determination, my purpose.
Okay. One word your children will tell you who you are. If your children got one word to say, who is mama, what would they say?
A queen.
Nice.
Even joke where they say that.
Okay. So for you, Ayurveda means?
Healing
Mhm.
and connecting with your purpose.
Nice. Okay, so now in our talk show, you have to ask me a question. We have tables turned around, so you can ask me any question you would like.
So I always, since I started the course, I always wanted to ask you this. So because I see your passion, you know, I see your passion to teach others, to give knowledge to others. So what you learned in the Ayurveda, you become your passion to give it to others. How you become like this?
I think it's because of trying to find a method for helping, and first person I needed to help was myself. I myself felt very scattered with my thoughts and purpose and so on. And when I saw the right way to really help people and you don't have to struggle, I really found passion in it. And
That
when those people turn and they are different people, I just love this. And that keeps me going.
that is passion, isn't it? That's what I see in you, to be honest. That's so correct, because I see your passion helping others, you know. So
Yes.
that's really good.
And I think we're always trying as women to help other people because this is the women behavior.
Yeah,
But when you help with the right methodology
yeah.
and with the right communication and really taking consideration of the body, I think a lot changes.
Definitely. And I agree with that, because being a well-being consultant or well-being specialist and naturopath as well. So my journey is 18 years in the business. So obviously I'm still learning, more learning. But then when I came to learn from you for Ayurveda, I actually learned another, like I say, icing on the cake. So, how to understand the bodies of my clients, how to
Yes.
understand the deeper version of their self. So, that's
Yeah.
really helping me to put that in my consultation and help them more deeply and
Right.
more naturally. Yeah. So,
No, it's
that's,
amazing.
I
It's
agree
amazing
with
that
that.
your journey about really continuing to study, add more tools to your kit, you know.
Definitely.
And being a student, while you are having so much work, you're still being a great student, studying in a very proper way, so I love this about you.
Oh,
and
thank you.
and thank you for trusting us with your story and sharing it, and hope it brings some strength to a woman who is suffering somewhere and is tied with social conditioning that she can't get out of the situation. What will her father think, or mother think, or what will society think?
Yeah,
And for making everyone aware that transformation is a great tool, and we can go from any place to anywhere, provided we
definitely.
put our mind to it.
Definitely. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yes. If you can do it, anybody can do it. That's amazing.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. And if you would like to ask Tammy something, just put it as a comment below if you're stuck, if you want some advising, and her amazing clinic in UK. Okay. And thank you, Tammy. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Shivani. Thank you. Take care.